There's a new school record in track and field.
And men's basketball is heating up.
All of this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown. And welcome to the Penguin Rundown. I'm your host for this week, Caleb Ellison. Joining me is Cameron Stubbs, and we survived the ice storm that came over Northeast Ohio this past week. It was pretty scary, but with all the snow, there's one thing that remained hot, and it was our men's basketball team, and that's what you'll get us started with today.
Absolutely. The men's basketball team has been rolling as of late, as they have won 4 straight games. After the 2 wins at home versus Green Bay and Milwaukee, the Penguins added wins against IUPUI and UIC on the road this past weekend. In the win over IUPUI on Thursday, the men came out on top 61-55. Junior Dwayne Cohill scored 14 points while shooting 71% from the field, while senior Michael Akuche contributed with his 4th double-double of the season of 11 points and 10 rebounds. Defensively, as a team, the Penguins were able to swipe 10 steals to help them earn 16 points off turnovers. Despite being out-rebounded, the Penguins made up for it at the line by knocking down 16 free throws. To cap off the road trip, the men were victorious over UIC 66-64. The Penguins were led by senior Tevin Ollison, who scored a team-high 21 points and grabbed the game-sealing rebound after a missed free throw by the Flames in the final seconds. Cohill was not far behind as he put up 19 points along with 8 rebounds, and Akuche also recorded his 2nd straight double-double in the win with 11 points and 11 rebounds. Looking ahead, a 5-game homestand will start tonight versus Oakland as the men are looking for revenge following a loss in the first meeting this year. You can catch this rematch at 7 p.m. on 570 WKBN or on ESPN+.
The women's basketball team was able to come out on the better end of its Wisconsin road trip as the Penguins split their 2 matchups in the Dairy State. On Thursday, the women lost their 2nd consecutive game as they were defeated late in double overtime to Green Bay, 70-69. Both teams were neck and neck through all 6 periods, but 2 Phoenix free throws gave Green Bay the final lead. The Penguins didn't do themselves any favors as they struggled to handle the ball, turning it over 26 times. They tried to make up for it offensively with the 3-ball as 43 of the team's 61 attempted shots came from beyond the arc. However, of those 43 from deep, only 12 found the bottom of the net. Senior forward Lily Ritz was once again phenomenal as she finished with 19 points and 8 rebounds. Seniors Chelsea Olsen and Lindsay Mack, as well as junior Paige Shy, also ended the game with double-digit points as they finished with 10, 11, and 12. The team looked for redemption in Brew City as it faced off against Milwaukee, defeating the Panthers 60-56. It was a tight game for the Penguins, but a 19-9 third quarter helped push them on top. Mack helped the offensive surge as 6 of her team-high 16 points came in the 3rd period. Ritz and sophomore Malia Magestro were the only other Penguins to score in double figures as they finished with 11 and 10. As a team, they improved on their sloppy play, committing 11 turnovers and shooting 43% from 3. The women's basketball team will look to carry the momentum into this weekend as the team is again on the road. They will have a battle with Cleveland State Friday at 7 and Purdue-Fort Wayne Sunday at 2. You can listen and watch on 1390 WNIO or ESPN+.
The women's tennis team competed in Las Vegas this past weekend with a successful victory on Friday and Saturday and a loss on Sunday. This past Friday, the Penguins went up against the UTEP Miners and came out of the match with their first victory in the new year, 5-2. The women stayed on top in the doubles matches as 3 duos earned the victory versus the Miners. The duos of senior Cecilia Rosas and freshman Julia Marco, sophomore Eliska Marsarikova, and freshman Elisa Rigazio, and freshman Lily Minich and junior Jessica Stanmore all earned doubles wins. In the singles competition, Masarikova, Stanmore, Rigazio, and Rosas each gained individual victories in their respective matches. On Saturday, the team beat Weber State for the first time by a close decision of 4-3. During the doubles competition, Rigazio and Masarikova and Rosas and Marco fought through these 3 sets with their successful contest. In singles play, Marco, Minich, and Rigazio also collected wins that contributed to the overall decision. On Sunday, the Gwins took a loss against UNLV as the Penguins lost 2 of 3 doubles matches. In singles matches, Youngstown State split with the Rebels as Rigazio, Rosas, and Minich all came out with victories on the Penguin side. This weekend, the women's tennis team will compete in a home matchup against Ball State at the YSU Indoor Tennis Center before heading to West Virginia on Sunday to battle the Mountaineers.
Last weekend, the men's tennis team had a tough road trip as they dropped both match decisions against Dayton and Xavier 5-2. Penguins that earned single match victories versus the Dayton Flyers included 2 freshmen in Harry Fuzas and Clement Mainguy. The team then traveled to Cincinnati on Saturday to take on the Xavier Musketeers, where they also did not have much success. Nearly all singles matches went into 3 sets, with most not coming in Youngstown State's favor. However, juniors Will Everett and Javier Pla each earned a singles win. The men's tennis team will be back on the road this weekend as they travel to the state of Wisconsin to compete in the Marquette and Nebraska Omaha. Catch live stats of these matches on ESPN+. Now we're going to send it over to Richie Giuliano and John Ostapowitz for our roundtable segment where they preview our softball team.
Thanks, guys. Welcome in to the roundtable. I'm John Ostapowitz alongside Richie Giuliano, where today we're going to talk about the Youngstown State softball season. And last year they started 36-15 overall. Richie, can you recap last year's season for us?
Yeah, last year was phenomenal for the Youngstown State softball team. 28-8 in Horizon League play. That landed them the #1 seed in the Horizon League tournament and hosted the tournament last year. Unfortunately, dropped 2 really close games at home on that doubleheader. Lost the first one to UIC and a tough one at the very end, and then it's really hard to come back after a deflating loss like that, and then they dropped the second one 3-0. But overall, great season for Youngstown State. 36 wins overall, very hard to do in a regular season.
Now let's talk about the players from last year. 5th year coming in this year, Ellie Buffenbarger. She was absolutely phenomenal. She was Horizon League Pitcher of the Year, All Horizon League First Team, earned FCA All Region 3rd Team laurels, went 20 of 4, 212 strikeouts, 2.6 earned run average, and was first player in school history to record 20 wins and 200 strikeouts.
Yeah, when you look at the growth of Ellie Buffenbarger throughout her career from her freshman season to the senior season, there's a ton of growth and maturity there. 20 wins last year was phenomenal. First player to have 20 wins and 200 Ks in a single season in Youngstown State history. But the stat that stands out to me here on the board, 9.35 Ks per 7 innings. She's having about a strikeout and a half every single inning. Strikeout pitcher, has a lot of movement, very fast fastball, a lot of hitters very late on the fastball from Buffenbarger. And she goes into the circle with the mentality that she's just going to mow you down. And she's one of the most dominant pitchers in this Horizon League.
Right. Now, speaking of another dominant player last year, Nikki Sabini. She's coming in this year as a 5th year. She earned Horizon League First Team honors, Horizon League All-Tournament Team, and appeared in all 51 games last season. She batted .377 with 55 hits, 13 doubles, and 12 home runs, along with 26 runs scored.
Yeah, and Sabini brings the power to the lineup. You mentioned the doubles and home runs, 25 extra base hits, 49 RBIs, which is 2nd in the Horizon League. So that just shows you that she's really good with runners in scoring position and brings the pop to the lineup, able to plug the gaps and put the ball over the wall with runners on base. So very experienced player, 2 5th-year players with Buffenbarger and Sabini that are going to lead the way for Youngstown State this season.
Right. Now let's talk about last year's freshman impacts. Haley Niederkor, she was All Horizon League freshman team last year, and she started 36 of 43 games as a freshman, which is impressive.
Yeah, that's really good for Niederkor. Hit 267 overall, balanced the lineup. But you also got to talk about Jillian Jaxie, who hit 343 and was the Horizon League Freshman of the Year. Big prospect for Youngstown State. Her senior season in high school, first team All-State, and hit 527 with 56 RBIs. So she really translated that senior season over to the college level, and a lot of bright future between Niederkor and Jaxie.
Right. Now, another bright spot that's coming in from the transfer portal from Kent State is Megan Turner. She's a junior. She made All-MAC second team at Kent, MAC All-Freshman team in 2019. She had a career batting average of .297, and she made 2 career Grand Slams.
Yeah, and Coach Campbell's bringing a local product back to Youngstown, which is great to see. A lot of the fans from around this area very familiar with the career of Megan Turner in high school. At Champion High School, she won 3 state championships, was the Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year, which is awarded to the best softball player in the entire state of Ohio. So a very decorated career in high school, and has had a great college career as well. Second team All-MAC last season. It's going to be a great addition for Youngstown State.
Right. Now, 2 new freshman players that are coming in this year for the 2022 season is Taylor Truon and Bree Collar. If you look at their stats and career in high school, they've been absolutely phenomenal. And the games coming up this year are going to be challenging for them. They have a 2-game stretch this Friday, February 11th, where they verse Colgate University and Gardner-Webb at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock back-to-back.
Yeah, you mentioned the word challenging. It's going to be difficult for Youngstown State in this first weekend. They haven't been able to practice outside, obviously, because the weather here in Northeast Ohio during the winter, but they play 5 games in 3 days, so they're going to have to bring it with full intensity this weekend, but they do have some winnable games against Colgate and Rhode Island. Gardner-Webb's going to be a challenge playing on their home field as they're hosting this intercollegiate, but overall, this is a great opportunity for Youngstown State to go out there and really start their season on a good note. Last year, they had their first 2 weekends of the season scratched. They didn't start till the 27th, so great opportunity to start here in early February.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Richie. That is all the time we have here at the Roundtable. Now, I'm John Ostapowicz.
And I'm Richie Giuliano.
Now it's time to send it back to Caleb and Cameron in the studio.
Thanks, Richie. Thanks, John. And now we move on to the women's golf team, who competed at the Motor City Cup this past Sunday and Monday in Central Florida, where the team was the 2nd seed heading into day 1. In the first match of their split series, the team defeated Northern Kentucky in the opening round 4-2. Juniors Danae Ragula and Christina Lewis, freshman Lizzie Sauer, and senior Victoria Grands all won their respective matches against the Norse. This win put the Penguins into the semifinals at the end of day 1, but would not advance to the championship as they fell to the 3rd-seeded Green Bay. On day 2 of the tournament, the team lost to the Oakland Golden Grizzlies with a final decision of 4-2. Lewis and senior Tori Uterup were bright spots for the Penguins as they each had individual victories. The team unfortunately finished 4th overall in the tournament. Next, the women's golf team travels to the Rivertown Invitational at Charleston Southern in South Carolina. This event will take place from February 28th through the 1st of March.
The track and field team competed at the 2-day Mayo Invitational this past weekend, where multiple Penguins set personal best and 1 Penguin set a new school record. At the meet, senior Sean Peterson set a personal record and school record in the men's indoor 1-mile run with a time of 4 minutes flat, which was also good for a 3rd-place finish at the event. Also competing in the 1-mile event and setting personal bests were sophomores Hunter Christopher and Ryan Meadows, who finished with times of 4 minutes and 14.08 seconds and 4 minutes and 14.40 seconds respectively. Those times also set the 7th and 8th fastest mile runs in program history. The track and field team will split up once again this upcoming weekend to compete in the 2-day Grand Valley State Big Meet starting Friday morning, then compete at the Doug Raymond National Qualifier at Kent State on Saturday.
Now we'll send it over for Katie Rogers-Vidala for this week's Penguins Player of the Week.
Thanks, guys. This week's Player of the Week comes from Lindsay Mack of the women's basketball team. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the women's basketball team traveled to the state of Wisconsin over the weekend, where they played Green Bay and Milwaukee. Now, Lindsay Mack played stellar, especially from beyond the arc in both of these games. But first, in Green Bay, she was one of 4 players in double figures, where she came off of the bench and played 12 minutes and scored 11 points, 9 of which were also from beyond the arc. And then in the game against Milwaukee, she had a career-high night, scoring 16 points, where she went 4 for 7 from 3, no surprise, where 2 of those came from a 15-0 run from the Penguins in the 3rd quarter to clinch the win against Milwaukee. Congratulations to Lindsay, and good luck to the women's basketball team on the rest of their season. We're going to send it back to Caleb and Cameron.
And that is all the time we have here for the Penguin Rundown today. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to follow us on our social medias, Instagram and Twitter at Penguin Rundown 1. I've been Caleb Ellison.
And I'm Cameron Stubbs.
And until next time, we'll see you on the Rundown.